The chamber is stifling, its walls sweating with heat as a man sits trapped inside a wooden box. Only his head protrudes through a hole while attendants shovel glowing coals beneath. Soon, fumes of mercury rise around his naked body, coating his skin and filling his lungs with poison. This was not punishment, but treatment for centuries. Mercury was hailed as the cure for syphilis, a disease as terrifying as it was misunderstood. Syphilis first emerged in Europe in the late 15th century, spreading rapidly across the continent in waves of epidemic proportions. Its symptoms were grotesque: painful ulcers, skin lesions, neurological damage, and eventual death. In an age without antibiotics, desperation led physicians to experiment with extreme remedies. Mercury quickly became the drug of choice. By the early 16th century, it was being prescribed almost universally. Physicians believed mercury could purge the venereal poison from the body, either by sweating it out, salivating it out, or forcing it through the skin. Treatments took many forms. Mercury ointments were rubbed into sores and rashes, often so vigorously that the skin blistered. Patients were given mercury pills, which caused violent diarrhea and vomiting. But the most notorious method was fumigation. Patients were placed into stoves or boxes where mercury was heated, producing vapor they would inhale. The goal was to induce excessive sweating and salivation, which doctors believed expelled the disease. The side effects were horrific: loosened teeth, swollen gums, ulcerated mouths, and a distinctive foul odor known as mercurial breath. Many patients lost their teeth entirely, their jaws deteriorating from constant poisoning. The saying of the time captured the grim reality: one night with Venus, a lifetime with Mercury. Contracting syphilis through intimacy could mean a lifetime of suffering through mercury treatments that were nearly as deadly as the disease. Patients endured years of this misery, some reporting relief from symptoms likely due to the cyclical nature of syphilis, rather than any true healing power of mercury. Others succumbed not to the illness, but to mercury poisoning, trembling, madness, organ failure, and early death. Despite its dangers, mercury persisted as the cornerstone of syphilis treatment for centuries. Even great physicians defended its use. Paracelsus in the 16th century praised mercury as a divine gift for venereal disease. Others argued it was the only substance capable of drawing out the poison. The treatment spread globally, carried by colonial powers to the Americas, Africa, and Asia, ensuring that mercury's toxic legacy scarred humanity worldwide. Not everyone was convinced. Skeptics noted the devastating side effects and questioned whether the so-called cure was worse than the disease. Alternative treatments occasionally emerged, such as guaiacum, a resin imported from the New World, but none proved effective. Syphilis remained a feared, incurable plague, and mercury remained the weapon of choice, its poison rationalized as necessary suffering for salvation. By the 19th century, doctors refined the methods, but not the risks. Mercury rubs, pills, and injections were still prescribed widely. Hospitals had wards filled with syphilitic patients wasting away under the combined assault of disease and treatment. The introduction of potassium iodide offered some relief, but mercury held its grip until the early 20th century, when a breakthrough arrived. In 1910, Paul Ehrlich developed salvarsan, the first effective antimicrobial drug for syphilis. Though imperfect, it signaled the beginning of the end for mercury therapy. The true revolution came in the 1940s with penicillin, which finally offered a safe, reliable cure. Looking back, the history of mercury treatment is both tragic and illuminating. It shows how desperation, ignorance, and faith in authority can drive medicine into deadly extremes. Physicians genuinely believed they were helping, armed with the best logic their time could offer. Patients submitted, hopeful that enduring the agony of mercury meant escaping the greater horror of syphilis. In truth, many were condemned to both. Today, mercury is recognized as one of the most dangerous elements, toxic to the nervous system and fatal in high doses. Yet for centuries, it was medicine proof of how fragile the boundary between cure and poison has always been. The story of mercury and syphilis is not just about a failed treatment, but about humanity's relentless struggle to outwit disease, even when the only weapon at hand turned out to be a deadly one.